Let's move on to our third and final main topic today. And our third and final main topic today gets submitted to us by Ki-san, who writes, so Charlie Cox shot down the rumors that he would appear as Daredevil in Spider-Man 3. Why is anybody surprised by this? I never understood how fans thought Charlie Cox had a remote chance of appearing in an MCU film. All right, thanks a lot for sending that in, man. And yes, you guys remember a few weeks ago, the internet got all aflutter because Kevin Smith, who is just a filmmaker I adore, Kevin Smith mentioned that he had heard that in the upcoming Spider-Man 3, that there was going to be a certain lawyer involved, and that lawyer was going to be Daredevil. It was going to be Matt Murdock, Daredevil himself, played by Charlie Cox, who's of course Daredevil in the uber awesome Netflix Marvel TV series Daredevil. God, I love that show. If you have not watched the Daredevil show, please correct that oversight immediately and make sure you go watch Daredevil. It is 3 incredible seasons of absolute excellence. Anyway, we talked on the show about how, where did Smith hear that? And that does not sound like something Kevin Feige would do. Kevin Feige wouldn't bring in something from other. He's always avoided the Netflix stuff, blah, blah, blah. What's going on here? Well, it's now been put to rest. Charlie Cox himself, while being interviewed, talking about Daredevil, the TV series, he said the following: I hadn't heard those rumors, but it is certainly not with my Daredevil. I'm not involved in it, said Cox during an interview with comicbook.com. If that's true, that they're thinking about having a Daredevil in Spider-Man 3, it's not with me, it's another actor. So Charlie Cox puts that to rest, that if there is, which it's not impossible, if there is going to be a Daredevil character, if there is going to be a Matt Murdock in Spider-Man 3, because, you know, it looks like one Peter Parker may be in need of some legal services after the end of Spider-Man Far From Home. If it is the case, it's not going to be the Netflix Daredevil. And I don't think any of us should be surprised by that. I think there are going to be people that are disappointed to hear that it's not going to be Charlie Cox. Of course. I mean, the idea is incredibly alluring. But I think most of us knew deep down, and we talked about this on the show a few weeks ago, that there was probably very, very little chance that there was any validity to this particular story at this time. So, yeah, sorry, guys. It looks like he's not there. It's not going to be him. Aaron, you know, being an actor yourself, you see rumors about actors and roles and things like that. Mm-hmm. What do you think about Charlie Cox coming out and putting this rumor to rest that he's not going to be in Spider-Man 3? Could he be misdirecting us, or do you think he's just kind of being just honest about this?
No, I don't. I met Charlie many years ago. It was when he was working on Boardwalk Empire. He was dating someone that I was working with at the time, and really nice guy, like good guy. So I am happy for all of his success. And Daredevil, written by Stephen S. DeKnight, the showrunner of Spartacus. So lots of fun little ties there. So, but yeah, I don't see any reason why it would benefit him to lead people on a different path. Now, did Kevin Smith actually say? Obviously, he suggested that that Daredevil would be in the new film, but was he saying Charlie Cox's Did he name Charlie Cox, or are people just speculating?
No, I think he did imply that it was going to be the Netflix Daredevil.
Oh, interesting.
However, then later on he said, well, I just saw it on the internet. And then we did some digging, and it came from, I'm not going to name names, it just came from a very unreliable source, but still people ran
I saw it on
the
internet. Yeah. Says everyone. Says every person who
so people ran with it and understand, because it's an exciting idea. It's an exciting idea.
How often though? This actually, when I saw this was one of our topics, it got me thinking, have there been any television superheroes who have then made the crossover to the film of that? Like, obviously we know Tom Welling did not play any of the Supermans in the films, and there's Grant Gustin, and unless things with Ezra Miller have changed that I haven't heard any confirmation of, I'm assuming Grant Gustin will not be playing the Flash in the upcoming film. Like, have there been any, like, I played it in the TV show and now I'm playing it?
That's a great question, because have there been any that have played in the show that then went to go play it in the movie? I can't think of, unless it was like some weird little like Easter egg wink wink sort of.
Right. So I always kind of thought that it was like, I mean, yeah, I always, well, Leonard Nimoy.
Yes, Mr. Spock.
Yes.
From Star Wars.
Leonard Nimoy was in the TV show Star Trek.
Yes.
And so then he played Spock's father in the film version.
No. So what happened was, no, Leonard Nimoy, they made movies of the TV show. So it was all the original cast came back into the movies to play all their characters. So Leonard Nimoy played Spock in the movies. He did not play Sarek, Spock's father. He played Spock.
But then he came back when he did the most recent one.
He still played himself.
Oh.
He still played Spock. He didn't play himself. He played Spock. Yeah. So.
Well, then who's the guy from Heroes? What's his name?
Oh, you're talking about the guy who played Sylar. Starts with a Q. Zach Quinto. Zachary Quinto.
Oh.
Yeah. He played Spock, but Leonard Nimoy played another universe's Spock from a future time.
See, that just shows how much I was paying attention. I was like, "Oh my God, it's Scott's dad! It's Spock's dad! That's so cool!" I just thought it was his dad. Sorry, not my genre.
It's not your genre.
Everybody's freaking out right now. Oh my God, she's so stupid. Yes, I will admit I'm totally stupid when it comes to the Spock family tree. But sorry about that. So yeah, so outside of that, I couldn't think of anything. So for me, it was just sort of like, well, why would Charlie Cox be playing that Daredevil?
Well, I mean, one of the things that Kevin Feige is doing right now is they're creating the Marvel Cinematic Universe also on Disney Plus. So there's going to be a Wanda, a Scarlet Witch show, WandaVision with Vision, and there's going to be a Falcon and Winter Soldier TV. So he is integrating now TV with movies. But the thing that always, I think, was the major roadblock is Kevin Feige's always been really protective of his MCU. Mm-hmm. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. on ABC, that's not his thing.
Right.
So he has never once referenced Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in his movies. The Netflix series, which were super popular and super great, but he had nothing to do with those.
Right.
And so he never once mentioned or referenced anything that went on in the Netflix universe.
So I can see him wanting to create his own version, because then if he uses the Netflix version, there may be some little,
handcuff then.
Exactly.
Why wasn't he there in Endgame? Why wasn't Daredevil there in Endgame? Why wasn't, I think you're absolutely right.
Would handcuff him to someone else's ideas that he had no part of, that he doesn't have any creative desire to continue.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. He wants to create his own Daredevil that he gives the origin story to, that he casts and all that kind of stuff.
Which is understandable.
It's totally understandable, but I'm not going to lie.
It's not the Patty Jenkins way, but it's understandable.
It's not the Patty Jenkins way, but I would geek out if we did see Charlie Cox's Daredevil in the MCU, but apparently it's not going to happen. Question here is, guys, what do you think about Charlie Cox's comments? Are you kind of like us, where it's like, yeah, we all kind of figured that? Or you're like, oh, come on, that would have been so great. What do you think about it? Jump down in the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. Okay, guys.